Hi guys, I'm in Lavasa right now riding this bike, the Suzuki Intruder. Now this is a 150cc motorcycle. First I'll quickly show you around this bike and then we'll get to riding. As you can see, it resembles the M1800R. The rear is a bit of a Hayabusa and very chunky elements. Looks quite masculine. And there one goes, the other color, grey color. So this is the Suzuki Intruder. Let's get riding. First things first, the position of the ignition is way ahead, and this is the cluster lifted from the Gixxer. So you get a gear position indicator, speedometer, twin trip meters, fuel meter, tachometer, which is usually not seen on a cruiser bike. And the pegs are very front set. The riding position is quite comfortable, but yes, this motorcycle isn't very powerful. What Suzuki has done is basically it's made a cruiser motorcycle for the 150cc segment, which is a rival to the Bajaj Avenger, and it has used all the parts from the Gixxer. I kid you not, everything is from the Gixxer other than the foot pegs, which are very front set, comfortable for a guy of my height, but if you're a short rider you're going to feel very uncomfortable because you have to stretch. Other than that, the design is all new. Of course, it comes from the flagship Intruder, which makes it look very chunky, beefy and attractive as well. So the Intruder gets a rear disc as standard, and I was talking about braking all of a sudden because I just applied the brakes, and I must tell you that Suzuki is offering a single channel ABS as standard. Now while this is a very nice thing to offer ABS, we would have appreciated if it was a dual channel unit, because ABS at the front is just like half ABS. You still can lock the rear wheel and the rear brakes aren't that great. So in terms of design, I feel that the Intruder looks spot on. Yes, it is very overdone. I don't know in the future if you'll get a Goldwing with a 150cc engine, because that's what the Intruder feels like, an overkill, like over designed for this segment. Do you really need so much design for a bike which is essentially a 150cc bike? Of course, in front of the Avenger this looks much better, much chunky and much more modern. Not much chrome treatment on this bike, which is a nice thing. It's there on the mirrors. Mirrors are not that helpful, but it's a nice touch that Suzuki hasn't opted for chrome to, you know, increase the appeal of the Intruder. So what all does come from the Gixxer? Well, what doesn't come from the Gixxer would have been a better question, because everything does come from the Gixxer. Oh my god, the NVH levels are very nice. They've done a fantastic job with the NVH of this motorcycle. In fact, it's even better than the Gixxer. Very smooth, no vibes at all. Rather, I would say it's butter smooth, the motor. Even on the handlebar you can't feel much vibrations. There's another one of these if you want to see it from outside. So let's talk about the hardware bits. As like I said, it comes from the Gixxer. So the wheels are from the Gixxer. That means that it gets a 100 section front and a 140 section rear. Now 140 section rear seems like a small size tire for a cruiser motorcycle, definitely, but kind of does the job. The chassis is from the Gixxer. It has been retuned to, you know, accommodate the longer wheelbase, and they have increased the rake at the front, and they've also increased the swing arm length at the rear to accommodate this bigger wheelbase, which results in, of course, better high speed stability. But the motorcycle isn't that flickable around corners, and I would say handling is okay by cruiser standards, average rather, or slightly above average, but nothing much to talk about, honestly. Ride quality is good. The seat is very comfortable. It's a very wide seat, and even a pillion is comfortable on this motorcycle, and they also offer a pillion backrest as an option. The suspension too, the 41mm front forks and the 7-step adjustable monoshock is also from the Gixxer. Now a monoshock suspension on a cruiser isn't something which we hear of every day, but like I said, everything comes from the Gixxer, so that's also the case here. Even the alloy wheels come from the Gixxer, and so does the switchgear. Now all this helps Suzuki in cost cutting, ensuring that they're able to price this motorcycle quite well. But the sad part is that the 150cc, so rather the 155cc engine, which is a single cylinder, air cooled, SOHC, 2-valve motor, hasn't been touched at all. Now Suzuki does say that they have made revisions to the gearing for improved acceleration. They've also increased the airbox size and also tweaked the exhaust. By the way, this also gets a dual port exhaust, and the sound is mellower than the regular Gixxer, which makes it quite nice actually. Here we go. The front brakes offer very good bite. The rears feel a bit spongy, I would say. And if you brake hard, they do lock up. So a rear ABS would have been really nice on this motorcycle. Very nice handling by cruiser standards, like I would say. Because the thing is, it's a very light motorcycle. It weighs just 8 kgs more than the Gixxer. So, you know, you really don't feel like you're riding a cruiser. So that's a good thing. And I was talking about the engine. So it produces 14.8 PS of power at 8,000 RPM and 14 Newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM, which, if you remember, is exactly the same as a Gixxer. So there are no changes. Rather, you would expect that they made a cruiser, though they would retweak the motor for better lower end performance. Well, let's do one thing. Let's do a 0 to 100 run. I won't reach 100 for sure, but let's try. Motor headlines at 10,000 RPM. And this motor doesn't have much punch over 7,000 RPM. So why did Suzuki not make any tweaks to offer better low-end performance? Well, I have the answer for you, because the Gixxer engine is already very good lower down. It has a good mid-range and it lacks in the top end. And that's exactly what a cruiser needs. And that's why this motorcycle feels very apt to ride in the city. It has plenty of punch lower down, and it's also very tractable. The gearbox has been smoothened compared to the Gixxer, which had some hard shifts. This one has very smooth shifts, which is a very nice thing. And right now I'm going to go in first gear and give it the beans. Nice. The clutch is also on the lighter side. So I'm quite impressed by this motorcycle. In fact, this is going to be priced, or rather the prices are going to be out by the time I publish this vlog, because there's an embargo till the launch. And the expected price is around the Avenger 220. So would you actually go and buy a 150cc cruiser for the price of a 220cc cruiser? Well, I have got the answer for you. I feel that this is a very interesting motorcycle, because many people don't really go on the highway. They want a cruiser for city usage. But why would you want a cruiser for city usage? Well, for the style it offers, of course, and the comfort. And in that sense, this Intruder makes a lot of sense. Yes, it could do with more power, but Suzuki did say that they are working on a 250cc engine for India. So if that happens, then that motor can be found underneath this bike as well as a Gixxer, and that combination is going to make this motorcycle well worth it. Even now, I feel the Intruder is an interesting motorcycle, definitely a bike worth buying, especially over the Avenger 150, because that's quite dated now. And the smooth engine really impresses me a lot. The riding dynamics are also easygoing. So for those who want a cruiser without having the headache of handling something which is heavy, bulky and difficult to park, and of course light in weight, close your eyes and get this motorcycle, the Suzuki Intruder 150. And that's all from me, guys. This is a very short review, or rather a first impression of the Intruder. We've been riding it since morning over here in Lavasa, and I really feel that Suzuki is doing something different and nice, because if this works, probably we'll get more motorcycles from the Japanese company. And I'm actually quite enjoying riding this motorcycle. Oh, why is this guy coming from the other side? In fact, I'll tell you a small thing. I had a Gixxer for long term, which Suzuki had given me, I think, for a year or so. And when I used to go on my Duke 390, sometimes I used to, even ride the Gixxer on some rides. And I never miss the Duke, because the motor is so punchy lower down. It sounds nice, easy to handle, and all of these things really come well to give you an exciting ride experience. Let me show you how easy, or rather difficult, it is to take a U-turn I'll just do that ahead. Suspension has been softened, so the ride quality is very nice. It feels quite compliant, and the best part I like about this motorcycle is that it's like an all-rounder. It does everything so well. Yes, highway power is missing. You can't really take this on the highway and be like, okay fine, now I'm going to cruise along with other cruisers. When I say other cruisers, I really don't mean the Royal Enfield Classic 350, because in my books that's like a more of a city cruiser, or rather a vibrating cruiser. Shh, did I say that? No, I didn't. So used to the Gixxer, I search for the pegs much behind, and then only have to stretch to find them much further ahead. So front set pegs will take little time getting used to. Someone is shooting the bike right ahead. So this is a media ride of the Gixxer, sorry, a media ride of the Intruder, and I will be doing a very interesting and another motorcycle Intruder. I will be doing a behind the scenes of this motorcycle ride, so if you want to see that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and also give this video a thumbs up. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Lavasa is so effing confusing. I don't know where I'm going. What am I doing? Where are we?